Let's talk about immigration green card fraud interviews, also known as Stokes interviews. Typically, when you apply for a green card, at the end of the day, you have to go through an interview where the USCIS will bring you and your spouse to ask you questions about your relationship, and if you pass that interview, you will get a green card. But what happens if you don't pass that first interview? Well, if you don't pass that first interview, they're gonna call you back again for a second interview, also known as Stokes fraud interview. Typically, before a fraud interview is scheduled, you're gonna get a notice like that, and that notice will give you details of all the things you have to bring about your relationship. Depending where your immigration office is, the different notices will look differently. But essentially, it's the same idea. You have to bring your spouse and a bunch of documents to prove your relationship. A few weeks ago, I attended one of these fraud interviews, and this was the longest interview I've ever attended. It took the officers almost 4 hours to question my clients separately. So typically what happens in a fraud interview, a couple will enter together and then the officer will question them separately. They'll ask them questions about their living arrangements, about their relationship, about the commingling of funds, about family members, and typically they'll list the questions right here on like a yellow notepad, which will be separated into two parts, and they'll be asking them the same exact questions. But at the end of the interview, they'll be comparing those questions. Once they separate the couple, they're going to bring them back together and then compare the questions and see what were the answers that were answered incorrectly. If there are too many inconsistencies, the case will eventually be denied. Back to my case, the reason it took so long is because the officer caught some inconsistencies really early on with respect to what the immigrant spouse was telling them about the living arrangements, about the way the apartment is set up, and the wife also had a lot of inconsistencies with respect to the family members, her husband's family members, their names and things like that. And it was a tough one, but hopefully I think we're gonna do well at the end, because they have a child. They're expecting a child. She is far ahead in her pregnancy, and I think that's going to be the main thing that's going to save their case. They were really nervous as well, so that didn't help, obviously. At the end of the day, it's better not to get there, so make sure you prepare your cases correctly so you never have to be subject to a fraud interview. Questions? Let me know in the comments.